Hey guys, in this video I want to talk to you about, could you be potentially buying and paying for your girlfriend in the Philippines? We're going to discuss that and a lot more. Stick around. Alright guys, so I wanted to talk about this topic because this happened to me and I hear and see other foreigners doing it all the time, and I think it's a mistake, and so I want to jump into that a bit more. And what I mean by this is over spoiling and indulging your girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever, and it can almost ruin them. It's almost like spoiling a child. And I hate to say that, comparing them with a child, I'm not, but it can have the same type of effect. You know, you overspoil a kid and they turn into, someone who's very needy and bratty and, just expect things. And that's almost what can happen with a relationship with the, Filipina girlfriend here. And I'll give you my own personal example. When I first got here, 7 years ago now, I can't even believe it's like 7 years. It's hard to believe, time flies. But I was it was like we constantly went out to dinner, constantly went out for lunch, or I would take her to go get her nails done, her hair done, her pedicure, her manicure. I would buy her, like a nice bracelet, and it was just the whole relationship. And I really do think that she liked me a lot, and I don't think I needed to do any of those things, but I did. I got here and all of a sudden you're in a country where the costs are so small compared to what I was used to in the West. In the West, you can't be taking your girlfriend out to $100, $200 dinners every night, but here you literally can go out and spend 500 pesos on a dinner for two, really. So it's a big difference in costs and things like manicures and pedicures, a couple hundred pesos perhaps. So it's something you can afford to do, and with the low cost, I said, why not? But it got to the point after about 3 months where it went from this very sweet province girl to someone who was just expecting this. And whose fault is that? Well, it was my fault. I just kept doing those things. We would every weekend we would go to go to Oslo and go with the whale sharks, swim with the whale sharks, and go to these waterfalls, and we'd go island hopping, or take a trip to Bohol, or just all these different things. And it just became expected. Instead of her saying thank you, I noticed the thank yous were less frequent. The expectation of, where are we going out for dinner tonight? My nail chipped. I need to get back in for a new manicure. And instead of just like being super appreciative for these things, it really turned into like a spoiled child. Like she expected it. And so that was my mistake. It was the one time and only time that I treated a girl over the top with spoiling like that. It did not happen again, because I learned my lesson, because she turned into somebody that I didn't like. And I'm taking a good deal of responsibility for that, of course. By the way, this video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Guys, it is a Black Friday sale going on right now, up to 86% off and up to 5 months for free. Sign up using the link down in the description. Protect yourself when you're out traveling. Make sure you can access every website you need to, and be able to stream all your favorite shows by using different services that you can't get here, like Amazon Prime and Hulu and HBO Max and all these different things that you wouldn't have access to if you didn't use the VPN. So sign up today. Link is in the description. There's also, I talk to guys all the time, and it's like I know guys who, before they've even met, and a lot of guys do this, they're already putting their Filipina girlfriend on an allowance of some sort. And for me, an allowance, it just sounds so much like your kid, you know, like, hey, if you do your chores, I will give you this much every week. Except the Filipinas not doing any chores, right? They're young and beautiful, and you get an allowance. You're not having to do any kind of chores, but that's kind of what happens with a lot of guys before they've even met in person. They've already got them on an allowance. They're building them houses. I mean, I know multiple guys who have built their girlfriends' houses before ever meeting, which just seems insane to me. Now, I know a few guys where they've done that and the relationships worked out and everything's been great and, you know, fantastic if it does, but if it doesn't, wow. You know, you're just taking this girl who's using you for money and she just got a free house and money out of it. Another guy had reached out to me and he told me, he's like, my girlfriend, she was great. You know, she's never asked me for money. I would send her money every once in a while for like Christmas or something like that so she could buy something or maybe treat her family to a nice Christmas dinner. But a year later, she sends me this message, and I read the message. He screenshot it for me, and I think the girlfriend basically said, hey, I have a friend who's dating a foreigner and she gets an allowance. Why don't I get an allowance? And so she started talking to friends who were telling her, well, my boyfriend gives me 10,000 pesos a month or 20,000 pesos or whatever. And she started thinking, well, why am I not getting an allowance? Why am I not getting any of this, you know, money? Why do I have to continue to work hard while this girl, her boyfriend, who she's never met, gets this allowance and gets to live a good life without even doing any work? Well, she just started asking him about it and harassing him almost on a daily basis, saying, you know what, I deserve an allowance. If I don't get an allowance, you know, I don't know if this relationship's going to work. And it's just like she turned from this person, this nice person, into this type of person. Of course, I always say that that's probably the true person that she really is. It just started to come out now. You know, it's not like she was turned into this person. It came out. This is who she really is. But I hear these stories all the time, and I think it's okay to spoil in small amounts. You know, if you want to take them on a nice trip together, I mean, really, you're spoiling yourself at the same time. So I get that. I mean, who doesn't want to go and travel? It's not like when I take Maya to Thailand or Vietnam that I'm only doing it to spoil Maya. No, I'm doing it for us. I mean, I'm having a great time too. So it's not some individual act that's just meant to spoil her. No, it's for both of us. But some guys are going places that they may not even have an interest in. This one guy said, I really don't have any interest to go to Boracay, and but she really wants to go, so I'm going to take her there. So, or, you know, they start off an allowance and she asks for more. They start giving her gifts and manicures and pedicures. I mean, I know a guy who married a very young Filipina. He's in his 60s and she's in her early 20s. And she went from living almost in like a shanty. I mean, this is how poor she was. I mean, basically almost homeless, just in a shanty, to living in a very nice place with a swimming pool, the whole thing, getting manicures and pedicures and trips and getting this amount of money and the family's being supported. My thing is how do you know that she is really in love with you at all? I mean, it seems like it's all financial to me. So this is not really a video on should you provide support or an allowance to your girlfriend. No, I what I'm saying is I just think it's a big mistake to overspoil a Filipina immediately. And I just don't think it's a good idea. I mean, if you want to do something like that, wait until she's starting to bring some money in, or she's doing something to earn some money, perhaps. You know, just don't start spoiling right off the bat, because you really will. You'll ruin them. You'll become like a spoiled little brat. You will have no idea whether they're in love with you or they just in love with the things that you can do for them. And again, I go back to a little bit of spoiling is fine. It's absolutely normal, right? To shower her with love and to take her out to, surprise her with a nice dinner, surprise her on a trip to Bohol or something like that. But to just go overboard and give gifts of jewelry and a new iPhone 13, 14, I don't even know what the latest iPhone is. I'm an Android person. But to do that is just not good. So this video really is just to kind of see what you guys think about that as well. I know most of us probably have some common sense in not doing that. I lost all common sense when I first got here. I was just spoiling her like a little kid, like a child. And guess what? At the end of, by the time we ended it 3 months, 4 months later, she really was like a spoiled little child. And I created it. I had a girl who was probably a pretty good, nice province girl, but you do those type of things and you're going to ruin them. Check out my website. It's still being revamped. I'm just in the process of it, but there's a lot of great information. Check out my Geo Travel Essentials, things I highly recommend for traveling or living out here in the Philippines. Thank you guys so much, and I'm going to see everyone soon.